Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gatorlight, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gatorlight hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in-minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin. You're listening to the 5-Minute Basketball Coaching Podcast with our host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 5-Minute Basketball Coaching Podcast. I'm excited that you've decided to take 5 minutes and join us today. But before we jump into it, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsor, teachhoops.com, for coaches who want to get better. If you like these free resources, if you like the podcast coming to you on a regular basis like this, that's one way that you can help us out over at teachhoops.com. It's what keeps the lights on and keeps these podcasts coming 5 days a week. So go over and check it out. Let's get off the podcast. Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about 3 mistakes that coaches make that I have kind of observed over time that I think coaches make at practice or when they're teaching or when they're in the classroom or the video session or whatever. I think these are just three specific things that coaches make mistakes on. If there are any other ones, I'd love to hear about them in the comments down below. But these are the 3 big ones that I think coaches or basketball coaches make mistakes during practice. Let's just say during practice. First of all is the lack of max reps. And what do I mean by the lack of maximum reps? What I mean by that is, and this is from someone that's coached at every level and coached at the youth level and all those kind of things, but you do not want people, especially when you're working on skill development, when you're working on training, when you're working on becoming better at a skill, you want as many reps as possible. So math teacher and me, if I'm teaching someone their multiplication tables, I want reps. I want them to practice their multiplication tables so it becomes second nature to them. I don't want them watching other people doing their multiplication tables. I want them to do them on their own. And I think that's an important thing. And I think sometimes coaches / teachers lose that at practice and they have people standing around. So you have to be creative. You have to find ways that they're not. Now, obviously, if you're scrimmaging or you're doing 11-man drill or you're doing something like that and you have 15 kids, it should be 11 people in the drill. But when you're working on training, when you're working on those things, you do not want standing around. Anyone that has coached a 7th grade or 7-year-old basketball team will know that if there's any standing, then first of all, they're going to lose their attention, but they're also not getting the reps. Okay. The difference between your expertise in 3 reps and 30 reps is probably exponential. So you want to make sure that you're giving both the instruction, but then you're giving them the reps and the chance to practice. You have to be able to give them the chance to practice to become better at the skill. That's the first thing. All right. Second thing, and I won't name this person, but I had a fellow coach that I used to watch would literally start practice and spend 20 minutes talking to his team. Now, I can't make that up. We as coaches do too much talking. They should be talking. They should be creating. They should be doing those things, not you. So too much talking. So I challenge you to take a week of practice to figure out how much of that practice you are talking and how much they are talking or they're communicating or they're doing. So I think the first big mistake is we don't get enough reps. The second biggest mistake is we talk too much. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I've got 5 podcasts. I obviously like to talk, but that you're going to lose them is what I'm saying. And we have to, you're probably never going to get perfect on the amount of talk, but you have to get better at the amount of talk. So less is more is what I'm going to tell you. And the third thing is, and this has been the hardest one for me. So I think I've gotten much better at talking less, and I think I've gotten much better at reps. The third thing is the hardest one for me, and that's stopping drills too often and not letting the flow. Now, we have what we call the red switch, where if you're seeing the same mistake happening with how they're closing out or their feet, and maybe you're doing 5-on-5 and the same kids are doing, 4 of the 5 kids are doing the same thing. That's a critical stop. That's like the red switch you got to switch so the nuclear reactor doesn't blow up. But for the most part, you got to let them flow through, stopping to correct one and not the other 9, unless it's a fatal mistake. We tend to hold it. And this is where I'll grab my assistants. I'll sub someone out. I'll walk over and say, hey, John was doing this, blah, blah, blah. Then one of my assistants will, as soon as that rep is done, he'll go grab that one student athlete, and then we'll throw somebody in for him. And we'll be able to teach them and can maybe show them. And maybe it's a footwork thing. Maybe it's an angle thing, whatever they're doing improperly. We'll be able to correct it and help them at the time. But it won't slow down the other 9. It won't, criticize in front of others. All those things I think are really important. So 3 big things I think you can do as a coach that you can change tomorrow to make yourself a better basketball coach at practice, or whatever you're doing, is more reps, less talking, and less stopping of practice and stopping of drills. I think if you do those 3 things, your practices are going to be more effective, your players are going to be more engaged, and it will be better for all of you. Hey, everybody, hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, like, jump up and down, review, do whatever you got to do. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Have a great